Hi, I'm Adrian and I'm a designer.
And my name is Florin and I'm a developer. And today we're going to talk about assumptions.
And toilet surfers. But before we get into that...
Yeah, I don't hope this came out of the toilet.
No. You would want to see someone about that. I picked this up in London. Franklin & Sons strawberry and raspberry with cracked black pepper. Let's find out.
I can smell it here.
And does it smell like black pepper? Probably not.
No, mostly it's a sickly sweet strawberry flavor. So,
cheers. It's more sour than I expected.
Strawberry flavor.
It's a bit weird. A bit
There
strange.
is a hint of pepper in there.
Is there?
Yeah. I like this one.
Okay, so today we're going to talk more about assumptions rather than toilet surfers, right?
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so, because I think everybody already knows what a toilet surfer is, really.
Can you elaborate?
No, I'm not going to. I'll leave that up to your imaginations, really.
No, we'd rather talk about the assumptions we make when we do responsive web design.
Exactly. So by that you mean make assumptions about what users want when they...
Yeah, that, but also about what screen they're using, what input they have, what device type they have. I mean, you think that would be rather straightforward. Okay, if I make a media query for with 124, okay, I'm probably on a desktop. But that's just not true anymore. There is so much overlap. That's just one part of the equation. Another part of the equation is, what is the user doing?
So that's more like a
contextual thing. Also, what input type is he using? I mean, an 11-inch MacBook Air is smaller than an iPad Pro and have different input types. An iPad Pro is a touch device, while your laptop, the MacBook Air, is a just regular keyboard and mouse input device.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, the MacBook Air, or the MacBook Air and the iPad Pro, they are quite similar in how people use them, because it's a mobile device, basically, on the go. That's lightweight.
That's going to be a big discussion about what the F is a mobile device.
Yeah,
I mean,
so that's sort of my point.
I can carry my laptop around, so is that a mobile device?
Exactly. Well, the iPad Pro has a keyboard attachment, so it...
Is that a laptop?
Is it a laptop then? So...
Oh, these are a lot of existential questions we have here.
Very, very big issues that we're going to talk about today. But this sort of shows how muddied the water really is.
Yeah, and if we...
Because like you said, what is a mobile device? Yeah, a laptop is a mobile device. A phone can be a tablet.
A phablet.
A phablet.
So, but that also means that we should not assume what the device actually is or what the device actually does. But that's just one part. There's another bit where we assume, okay, we're going to do responsive web design, and we're going to look at, if you're on a mobile device, we're going to show you certain information at the top and other information. Yeah, we don't think that's interesting to you. So we're not
going to show them at all.
At all on a mobile device.
Well, I mean, for content, I don't really see why you would do that. I mean, there are people who do this on their websites, like they collapse articles, for instance.
Yeah, but even then they give you the option to expand. But it's kind of annoying because, okay, when I'm really busy and I'm on the run and I open an article and I just read the abstract and the title and the first few lines to look if I think this is interesting. But when I'm at home on the couch, I have my phone with me and I don't have the tablet is out of reach and the laptop is on the table, so
You're not going to get up for that.
No, I'm not going to get up for that. So I want to read the full article on my mobile.
Yeah.
So that's...
Now, then collapsing would still allow you access to it, but this is far more problematic when things are just absent. They're just gone.
Yeah.
For instance, companies that have fairly elaborate websites for desktop use. What is a desktop? but you can have a description of them, samples of their work, their team page, for instance. And on a small device, you cannot access any of that, only their phone number and their address.
Again, making the assumption, okay, you're on a mobile device, you just want to know where we are because you're probably on the way to us.
Yeah, or you want to call us.
Or you want to call us.
Because you're on a phone.
Yeah.
That's what you do with a phone, right? You call people. Come on. And that's really strange because for instance, I use team pages a lot when I meet people for the first time. So you go to a meeting and there's a few people there, and you might want to see a picture of them before you go into a meeting.
Because you may not have met them yet.
Exactly. So for that, it would be really useful that if I'm on the way somewhere, I can check who is this person.
Exactly.
Or another thing that I use team pages, which are regularly omitted for, is find a personal email for someone.
By making assumption, we are making worse designs, and I think we should approach responsive web design in a more fluid, and I know this is a technical term as well, but in a more fluid approach where we look at, okay, this is content, and how is it going to be shown on a variation of different sizes, and we should design it in a way that makes it just flow in whatever setting it's going to be. And that's a bit like, there's a Bruce Lee quote that says, you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. And if you put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. And that's exactly how content should behave.
Yeah, so it should basically fill the container.
If it's on a mobile device, if it's on a TV screen, if it's on a laptop screen, it's or even a 30-inch monitor. It should just always look at what's available to me space-wise and use that in the best way possible. Keep in mind, I'm not saying that if you have a 30-inch monitor and you use the full width, that it should fill the whole screen.
No. I mean, but then you're talking about a design decision where you optimize for what is legible. For instance, if you have sentences or rows of characters that span across the entire 30-inch screen.
Exactly.
So that would be difficult. But I do agree with you that content should adapt itself or just reflow inside the container of whatever you are looking for.
And that's why I think the traditional approach of responsive as 3 separate views, that just won't work.
So by 3 separate views, you mean make a mobile view, a tablet view, and a desktop view, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. And so does that mean that we should just ignore that, or how are we going to?
Yeah, that's good. Of course, it's going to be a little bit scary to let go of that, but I think we said about it should flow, it should adapt. It doesn't mean that it has to look and work the same everywhere. What we're trying to achieve is that it will be accessible to any input device and any input screen, output screen there is. And that means that we have to design something that is adaptable and that flows, and that's not set on rigid
sizes.
Sizes,
that's how you define.
Yeah, and that's how you define how it works.
Or what kind of content is available to your user. So, for instance, someone on a regular iPad Air would have less content than someone on an iPad Pro because it's larger.
Yeah, it doesn't really make.
Would be kind of strange, and that's just the content aspect of it. I mean, in features, we've seen this with the clients of our own, where the decision was made to people don't really use this feature on a touch device, for instance.
Yeah.
So that's going to be not used, so we're not going to spend money on this.
But then again, what is a touch device? There are laptops nowadays that
have touchscreens.
Have touchscreens, and also if you attach a keyboard to a iPad Pro, is it
then a touch laptop?
So that's going to be iffy, and again, we're making assumptions here.
Yeah.
And then we didn't even talk about, we haven't talked yet about the fact that we sometimes make assumptions of how are you going to use it. Mm-hmm. I mean, when I'm in a hurry, let's take public transport.
Yeah.
When I'm in a hurry, I may want to know when is the next bus going from the stations closest to me. So you're adding context by adding geolocation, but you don't know if someone is in a hurry.
No.
So you have to look if is it always the best display to show the closest station, or is it sometimes better to show a full timetable?
Yeah, and again, there you sort of you just display with the minimum amount of information that you have. You don't know where this person is going,
No.
so you're just showing what's next, basically. And on a mobile device, I can see how people would reach that conclusion. How they would say, well,
You're on a small screen, probably
Exactly.
a mobile.
you're probably on the go, so you're going to only want to know when's the next bus leaving,
Yeah.
for instance. But I usually plan things a bit further ahead than that. So,
You're a smart guy.
and I sometimes plan stuff on the toilet. So, so I'm not really mobile in this instance. So, and that is actually a tricky bit, especially if the choice to only show the current timetable restricts access to the
Other feature, the full timetable.
yeah, the feature to actually plan your trip.
Yeah.
Because I mean, showing when the next bus leaves, that will take me only on bus X. I don't know
Yeah.
where that is going, and I might need a connecting bus after that, or get on a train, or do something else. So I'm just gonna hail an Uber.
But that brings us to the next point, where you could of course prioritize. I mean, you could somewhere the whole thing about we say okay, you don't have to make you should not make assumption, but somewhere you have to make decisions because
Yes.
you should. Of course, you could say okay, but I'm giving this little bit of content priority and put it higher up on a smaller screen.
Yeah. So that's
Because it's more important. But you have to ask yourself, isn't then that information also more important on a
on a desktop. Yeah.
And shouldn't it be in top left on the desktop as well?
Exactly. So and that is actually then it's a broader question about why does something appear to be more important on certain devices than on others, or on certain sizes of devices even.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a strange discussion, because we see this example, for instance, on restaurant websites where they have a phone number in the footer, and then on a small touch device, they're going to put it up top.
Yeah.
With the assumption that, if you're on the phone, you can actually make the phone call. But that is not just making it more readily accessible, but it's also about, is that behavior you want to promote? Do you want people to call you?
Because of course, because a lot of bigger companies, they have actually there is a business case being made. They have business cases where they say, okay, but we actually want people to use our website more instead of calling us with questions. So
everyone who picks up the phone costs money, basically.
Yeah.
Because you have to employ someone.
And
you have to
a
train
website
someone.
is relatively cheap. A visitor on a website is relatively cheap.
Yeah.
So in that case, on mobile, you probably want to show the information again and not the phone number, just because you're on a mobile device. So that is very much important in what you want to achieve.
Yeah. So I mean, they used to do this on business cards, where they would order the methods of contact. So if you had email up top, that would mean that people would prefer to be emailed rather than called.
And did that work?
It was sort of an unwritten rule in at least in business card design when I went to school, that you prioritized based on which position it had. I don't know if people actually heeded that, because in the end, users are generally lazy and they don't really care about what you want. So they do what suits them.
Of course.
And that's, I mean, the same with the websites. I mean, in the end, the user doesn't really care what you think is important for him.
No, but even then, it matters a lot in again about the context where we know very little about.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in a good mood, I may put up with some shenanigans of a website a little bit longer than when I'm in a bad mood.
Longer, or when you're in a hurry, or when
exactly, and that's just.
Or you have like 2 minutes before a meeting and you need to look something up real quick. You might
and then you have to scroll through.
You have less patience for them putting up a phone number and their address up top with that you have to scroll them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that matters. That matters a lot, and that's actually what we're trying to say here is okay. If it's a priority on mobile, why isn't it a priority on your desktop, or,
exactly.
Or anywhere else? And that you should have a coherent design throughout whatever device, input method, context there is.
Yeah, and keep your content and your features accessible at all times.
Exactly, and that
just don't just hide them because it's convenient or because it makes the worst reason to do this is it makes the page look better or more compact or whatever. That means.
Yeah, and it's less scrolling, and
scrolling is cheap.
No, but still, these are just not good reasons to do something with that.
And I think that if someone hides features that I need because I'm visiting your website to do a specific task, to achieve a specific goal, and you are making that harder for me or impossible for me, I'm not going to be a happy customer. I'm not going to be coming back, or, it's going it's going to impact your business in some way. If I can't order something on mobile, then I might not order at your site at all.
Because your competitor probably will allow me to order online on my phone.
On the toilet. Just saying. So
having mentioned the toilet again, I think we should just
we should
wrap
this up. This is done.
So thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and thanks to our sponsors Asphalt Photo and DigitPaint.